So when I first got to Charlotte, North Carolina, I started going to a church. I'm gonna call it Church A. So in Church A, um, that church was one of the most famous churches in Charlotte. Probably y'all know what church I'm talking about, but church that the auditorium seats like 2,000 people. They have their worship experiences are basically like full blown concerts every single Sunday. People come from all over the world just to go to that church, even if it's just one time. Um, and it so happened that I was living right across the street from there. So what happened is I started going to that church. I met some people here and there. I keep in touch with some of them, but uh, even though it was, let's just say, it did the job. I went to church. I listened to the sermons, and it was a good experience on Sunday mornings. It's like not much else happened during the week except a couple of small groups here and there. Um, and in the small groups that I encountered, a lot of times, yeah, they were kind. I mean, they were good people doing, serving the Lord and everything. But something in my heart, it was like, okay, this is not family. These are not the people that I could call at 2 in the morning if I have a problem. So I said to myself, you know what, this is not the right place for me. And I started looking for another church. I prayed about it, and then I ended up going to a church called, we're going to call it Church B, as in boy, B. Uh, and at Church B, uh, it was a smaller church, not as big as the first one. And at that second church, in my estimation, the sermons were much less apologetic. The sermons were no nonsense, great sermons. I love the preacher out of that church. Great man of God. They had this church in particular. Uh, they they are growing. They're a great church. They do a lot for the community, uh, and lots of young adults, which is great to see. Um, but as far as what I was looking for whatever reason, I just wasn't able to find again that family aspect in that church. Maybe I didn't look in the right place. So nothing against that church. They're great. I visit that church sometimes during special events and things like that. But other than that, like I I just didn't. I just felt like it wasn't my final destination. Wasn't home. Didn't feel like home. I attended some small groups there. I gave that church maybe like 9 months, 10 months, and I felt like I prayed again. Lord, is this where you want me to be long term?